If you want to know what competitors the Japanese introduced from Mercedes-Benz GLS, BMW X7, Lincoln Navigator, or Cadillac Escalade, you have to know that they introduced Lexus LX 600 with the fullest option 1, i.e. the Turo option to compete with them. $250,000 full option version Turo option, and the 4-seater VIP, and there are lots of other options in this car. And of course it competes closely with its competitors regarding quality and driving. The quality is excellent. If you want to assess this car's 0-100 acceleration, brake, handling, and options, and enjoy, stay with me until the end of this video. The first gasoline turbo car in the Land Cruiser series, both the 300 body kit and this 310 body kit, which is Lexus LX 600, and the most expensive product of Lexus, and of course the most luxurious product, a big as a car, and of course simple. There is another version, a full option like this, in the fullest possible option, but this color is this shiny. It is a shiny chrome. The reliable and proud Lexus logo is printed on the front. Wherever it is seen, it beautifully conveys a brand's reliability. This part is the small fog light with a champagne chrome, a beautiful champagne color, gorgeous. Fortunately, the lights are still preserved. Unlike the world trend where the lights are removed here and all come to the bumper, here are high quality and transparent LED crystal lights, which makes you crazy. The width of Lexus LX 600 is 1989, its height is 1885 mm, and its length is 5096 mm, and the distance between the axles is 2850, 22-inch rim, 265 width, and tire profile is 50% of the width of 265. An interesting point I will mention while driving is the channel in the middle of the hood, which is also in the 300 body kit and shows itself more here. The middle channel in the hood gives you a sense of power, something that should inspire you with a luxury and full-size SUV. There are matte chrome rims on the side with good transparency. We have 22-inch rims. There are large side mirrors with signal indicators and a camera. Under on 4 sides, and of course the side step here and the chrome on the doors. The dimensions of this car are still big and bulky, and this part with the Lexus sign that has always been has a boomerang shape, which ends up the last part of this car. Well, in the rear view, we see the same lights as the Lexus LX 570 with some changes, and of course the tail lights, which are jointed together. We don't have the Lexus logo here, just the word is written. LX 600 is written here. The full option version that I said, there is a hook here. There is no exhaust outlet. There is an exhaust here. Fortunately, they didn't use fake exhaust. Its rear design is a bit simpler than the LX 570, and of course somewhat more modern. This part of the bumper has a gray color or graphite gray, and of course the rear spoiler casts a shadow on the glass. We don't have the third row of seats in the trunk because the car is designed for 4 people, which in my opinion is proper because it makes it more luxurious than the LX 570, and it has a lot of options and facilities. The trunk is large and a curtain covers some part of the trunk. It has a 220 volt and 100 watt socket which can be used as a normal outlet. The same plug that we have in our house, and below here are some tools and equipment. The spare tire can be reached from below. We should not be too sensitive in the cargo area because this car is 4-seater and we are going to load only suitcases in it. There are no other options or facilities. There are many options and features in the 3-row or 7-seater versions. The Lexus LX 600 engine is a 3.5-litre 6-cylinder twin-turbo engine that transfers 409 horsepower and 650 Nm of torque to 4 wheels through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Among the notes that this engine had was that it was turbo. Since it was the first time a gasoline turbo engine was mounted on the Land Cruiser series, and because the general interest towards naturally aspirated versions, was not very interesting for this engine, Lexus and Toyota as a whole decided to continue to install a 5700cc naturally aspirated engine on the 300 body kit and Lexus LX 600 along with the 4000 HPV engine and put it on the market. The company has claimed that the 2500 kilo body of the Lexus LX 600 can go from 0 to 100 in 6.9 seconds in Iran because we don't have gasoline with 95 octane. And generally, the acceleration of cars in the world is declared with 95 octane, with regular gasoline and 2 octane boosters, Germinal brand that we supply. We test this car. The tank is full, and we add 2 octane boosters to see the output for 0-100 acceleration. And of course, braking, I put the driving mode on Sport Plus. I should not turn off ESP, traction control, and VSC because if I turn them off, the efficiency will be lower and it launches better when it is on. I put the gear on D mode because when I put it on a manual transmission, it cuts off and does not change gear. That's it. Let's go and see what. Nice lunch. Wow. 7.3 seconds. 0-100 acceleration, 7.3. Cedra. Of course, the company gave 95 octane gasoline, but with 82 Iranian octane, regular gasoline, and 2 Germinal octane boosters, I think a good number was obtained. I expected about 8 because its power is really not much different from the previous generation, LX 570, but its gearbox is excellent, i.e. the reaction and launch. And the brake line from 100 to 0 kilometer. What a brake. 40 meters. It was a great brake. Exactly the same as LX 570, exactly the same. That was 40 like this. What a brake, really. Brake sticking was hard. For this body, with this weight and dimension, in my opinion, the brake was perfect. This Kuro that is written here, usually in the whole world, especially in GCC countries, is considered a very full option car of Lexus. In the LX 570 versions, there was also the Kuro option here. It is the same again. It is full option 1. The remarkable thing about this car is that it is Lexus flagship. Anyway, it is the most expensive product and the color quality is still pleasant. The color of this car is not black, it is a dark green color, close to teal, which is very good quality. I mean, I'm telling you that is top of the color quality in Japanese products, especially Toyota Lexus. Excellent color quality. The clarity is fantastic. You like to sit under the sun for hours and look at this attractive color. When you look at the interior of this Lex Samurai ship, the first thing you notice is that it is so luxurious, so full of luxury. One would feel relaxed, and the quality of the material is amazing. Let's have fun at all. The seat memory with delicate buttons is here. The famous Lexus color on the handles and doors and the good quality of the material. No news of up to this part, 2/3 of the door. There is no low quality material, but from then on we have it, which is somehow disappointing. The keys are of good quality and the seat is leather. The high quality seat has an attractive orange color and is completely electric with electric leg rest, heating, cooling, and everything is perfect and big and wide. The Lexus logo is also printed on this headrest. On the left side of the steering wheel is a 360-degree camera, the control of the trip computer, kilometers, first and second trips, and the light control behind the kilometer screen. We have the trunk unlock button here like the previous versions of Lexus and Land Cruiser. There is a gas cap and the hook button at this bottom with 2 simple plastic clips. The car's steering wheel is also electric and can be adjusted in 4 directions. And of course, when you get into the car, everything's so comfortable, big, and modern that you don't want to miss it. Anyway, this car competes with the Lincoln Navigator, Cadillac Escalade, Mercedes-Benz GLS, and BMW X7 in this price range and luxury full-size SUVs. The car steering wheel is updated and large, the buttons are attractive, and some car radars are controlled here, lines staying centered, adaptive cruise control, high-quality steering wheel shifter, and a cool metal signal indicators and wipers are of high quality and material. And of course, the kilometer screen, that is interesting even though it is at the peak of technology. But the battery part, battery voltage, water and gasoline temperature and so on are analog, which gives a very good feeling. And when you turn on the K-NIM screen, the contrast is of the highest quality. And I didn't expect these things. I really expected a bit weaker. Lexus worked very well in this car. It worked very, very well. And the price is not low. Jumped from $110,000, $120,000 LX 570 to $200,000, $250,000, which became a competitor of, for example, even Mercedes-Benz G-Class. The material here is soft touch, good quality. It has a natural stitching and a head-up display that is extremely clear and high quality. We have a big monitor above, which has excellent touch and response. Its options and facilities are unique, personalization and everything is at the best possible level. Below we have another monitor for climate control. And when you adjust the car height, it shows itself here. Some information about the car is shown here, for example, accelerating or battery charging, not accelerating, and so on. The lower part of the buttons has a piano black color and is high quality. They may be scratched a little below it. We have 3 buttons, multi-try select, drive mode, and DAC crawl. In normal mode, the drive mode is turned on, and this knob here has various driving modes: Eco, Comfort, Sport, Plus Sport, Normal, and you can customize on your own. When you push multi, try to select. The knob for driving mode goes to the multi-try select, which controls the driving modes in the off-road, which includes sand, rocks, desert, mountains, and such things. The right part of the drive mode button is DAC crawl, which is the same control for moving downhill, or crawl control. What is crawl control? It is the same cruise control off-road which grabs on the barrier where it is stuck at very, very low speeds. Crawl means crawling, and it does exactly the same thing. On the right side, there is a knob again for raising and lowering, whose material is very excellent. The material is so well made that you will enjoy it. Seat cooling and heating are here. This side we have USB-C and a regular USB here, a compartment here, a 12-volt socket. The gear lever, which has a manual transmission mode, has also good quality, but it is still in the old style. On the left side of the gear lever, we have an electric parking. Brake and auto hold. The central diff lock that divides the power 50-50 between the front and rear ESP turns off here, and adjusting the car height so that an N is written here in normal mode. If you turn it down, the car will turn down. And for turn up, there is an H1 and H2 mode that when you turn up the car, it goes higher. Its height is so high that it is as if you are riding in other cars. Even, for example, when European SUVs are on your side, it's as if you're on top of them as the height is high. A quality artificial wood. A cool trim here and on the door gives you a good feeling. It gives a feeling of quality and luxury. There are 2 big cup holders here with an American style. Big. And there is a space to put the phone here. We don't have a wireless charger here, but we have it in the rear row. This is interesting. The middle console opens from 2 sides, one like this and one like this, which is a refrigerator. Here, as usual, land. Cruiser and Lexus must have a central refrigerator. The roof is made of a material close to Alcantara leather and suede, but it is not that. There is something else. A very good and cool dark-colored material, and of course, a sunroof, which is not wide. Usually, Land Cruiser and Lexus do not focus on the sunroof. This middle console has high-quality buttons for lights and a glass holder. Its height is so high that it is as if you are riding in other cars. Even, for example, when European SUVs are on your side, it's as if you're on top of them as the height is high. A quality artificial wood. A cool trim here and on the door gives you a good feeling. It gives a feeling of quality and luxury. There are 2 big cup holders here with an American style. Big. And there is a space to put the phone here. We don't have a wireless charger here, but we have it in the rear row. This is interesting. The middle console opens from 2 sides, one like this and one like this, which is a refrigerator. Here, as usual, land. Cruiser and Lexus must have a central refrigerator. The roof is made of a material close to Alcantara leather and suede, but it is not that. There is something else. a very good and cool dark colored material, and of course, a sunroof, which is not wide. Usually Land Cruiser and Lexus do not focus on the sunroof. This middle console has high quality buttons for lights and a glass holder. Fantastic. A sound system that shakes this big body like this and makes us enjoy it. Everything is so at its highest level. Well done, Samurais, I enjoyed. Let's go to the rear row. We are going to ride the full version of the LX 600 VIP 4-seater, but it is not so easy to ride. That's why the handle is left here. It is very tall. We have a very big monitor here, and the normal seat is like this. Of course, I lowered the rear part. This middle panel, which is the car's monitor itself, is not a tablet. There is the control of the car air conditioner, heater, car cooler, and of course the seats. We have a seat mode so that the car becomes fully VIP and the front seat goes completely forward. The rear seat part is like this. It goes completely forward and you can control it here. And I push it here. This process takes a long time to displace the monitor, and from this part, as indicated by arrows on the screen, this footrest comes down. In this way, the footrest is made of leather. It is very interesting and soft not to bother the legs. And in this way, you LOL and you can sleep without any bother. We have a wireless charger in this section. We have 2 cup holders in this part. The middle console is also here, which has 2 USB-Cs and the 12V AUX socket, light, and so on. Maybe I can say that a refrigerator could be here. It would be cool if there were a refrigerator here, like, for example, Mercedes Maybach with a couple of glasses. And of course, this part below the center console, we have 2 leads, one for USB-C and the other is for HDMI. This car accepts HDMI cable. This part is also a compartment for these things. Generally, everywhere in this car is for the comfort and well-being of the passengers. The roof of this car has plenty of lights. From this part, the ceiling lights and reading lights are controlled. And of course, the interesting option is the massager. The car seat has a very strong massager, very, very strong and cool. It massages you in such a way that you don't want to leave the car. The roof has air outlets, speakers, air conditioning, and everything. You can't say anything about it. It's top of the top. We have 2 air vents below me. Everywhere I look, there is something. Since I set the VIP seat mode, my head hits this place. This part has a button for the middle console, which means that this rear end can make a mess and go to the middle console and get mineral water from there. Mark Levinson is written on the rear speakers and shows the originality and good quality of the Lexus LX 600. The start-step system of this car is activated by the owner's fingerprint or those verified. If you don't have it, you have to take the switch and put it on the start button until the car starts. You won't hear any special sound from the car. A good graphic is displayed on the middle monitor, a graphic on the kilometer screen, and the driving modes that I put on Comfort for now. It has 6 driving modes: Eco, Comfort, Normal, Sport, plus Sport, and Customize, and in the kilometer screen setting. The speedometer section is digital or analog, and digital and analog together. I let it be on the digital screen to see the kilometer engine speed at the top. The feeling is better. We put it in drive mode and start moving. Interestingly, when you put the car in P or N mode and press full gas, it will cut off, but the cutoff is artificial. It's safe. And at 4,500 RPM, it cuts off. Its sound is not that loud. It is only for Toyota Lexus lovers who love cutoffs. And in manual transmission mode, when you put this car's 10-speed gearbox on manual transmission, it greatly cuts off nice. Cutoff must be for off-road. And look, if we can make a cutoff here. This was the cutoff. We will rev up again. It cuts off and has extremely high power, i.e. it throws forward so that there is no limit at all. In the cluster settings section, we see many radars: line staying centered radar, rear and forward collision warning, rada side radar, parking sensor. And what is more interesting here is that, for example, the line staying centered radar has an option called centering or line center, which keeps you in the middle of two lines. I checked and tried this completely. Look, if we drive here now, it keeps you completely between the lines and warns you when your hands are not on the steering wheel and says to put your hand on the steering wheel and not drive like this again. Look, now the car goes this way and controls you easily. It keeps it in the middle of the lines and doesn't let it look. Brought it again in the middle of the line. And the crash sensors work very accurately. It was many times that I tried today without any error worked perfectly. The crash sensor, forward collision, side radars, etc., all of them are in their best possible state. Insulation system, engine section, noise, etc. From almost 3,000 RPM, the sound is constant, not much more than before. But at 2,000, 3,000 RPM, I felt the LX 570 was less noisy than this car. Anyway, the engine is smaller and the turbo comes in the circuit at 2,700, 800 RPM. And maybe that's why it's so loud. The forward view is extremely attractive because of that central channel that I said is in the middle of the hood, and the head-up display has excellent quality, good rear vision, and good all-around vision. Everything is fine. When I say good, I mean really good. We are leaving Lavasana towards Lashkark. The suspension system is perfect. In comfort mode now, the car height is in its neutral state, not the normal neutral. Something strange at all. You have a calmness and a strange feeling in this car. Even though it is very tall, it is easy to drive and steer. There is very little noise, excellent insulation. Whatever I say does not fulfill its description as, this car is easy to drive. This car performs like this on our poor quality asphalt roads. Think about a place with good asphalt. And this shows that still Toyota Lexus, even though they have turbocharged their cars, still think about the customer, and still the comfort and silence of Lexus are still observed. It is also its signature. In terms of cabin noise, you don't hear any noise from anywhere, neither the seats nor the doors. Nothing. And when you speed up, anyway, here are all turns, but when you speed up to 150, 60, you don't hear any wind noise. I mean, your speed is 180, but you feel like 80 or 90. It is so silent, even though its height is high, and should give you a feeling of insecurity. This itself can be a strange point. This car with this height should fool insecure somehow, but there is no feeling of insecurity, which is interesting. In its own way, the price range of this car from the lower versions is around $170,000 to $250,000. The version we are driving now is the $250,000 version of brand new ones. Full. The car door also has a vacuum pump seat massager 4-seater. There are plenty of options up to here, and this itself can be tempting for someone who wants to buy the reliable Lexus brand with such a range of options compared to, for example, Lincoln Navigator, Cadillac Escalade, or Mercedes-Benz GLS. That I will check them soon. I will surprise you with them. I will check them soon. And finally, I will compare all of them and tell you which one is more worth buying. We were in comfort mode. Let's put it on the sport mode. The KM screen is getting better. The car height does not go lower than this when moving, and it stays normal but goes higher. We stay in normal mode for Labasanat turn. The car's acceleration was 7.3, which was very little different from the company's number because of the gasoline. It's really interesting in its own way that Toyota is so precise about the acceleration. It was interesting, but the good brakes of this car make one feel confident, but the softness of the suspension system often causes the loss of handling. Here, we check the handling of Lavasanat's turns with care. We go like LX 570. We don't go too strange and heavy because it's an SUV and it's not like a sedan to do anything with it. we reached the famous Cerato's turn, where the Cerato coupe spun at a speed of 60 without ESP, of course. Look, the car anchors. It sticks here. When you drive with this car, it's amazing at the turns. Handling is difficult in this car, but I can say that its handling is at the level of LX 570. It gives you a feeling of insecurity because the car is very soft. The suspension system is soft. We also set it to comfort mode, but it gives us that softness. We don't focus too much on the handling. Instead, I will tell you what gearbox does. The gearbox of this car is a 10-speed gearbox. And in a 10-speed gearbox, the acceleration usually drops slightly compared to, for example, a 6-speed gearbox. But the acceleration of the car is 650 Nm. Perfect. Amazing. The power transmission and gearbox engine match. It is in one of its best conditions for Toyota Lexus products. I have never seen a product from Toyota Lexus that has been so well matched. I have never seen it in any other product. And because the distance between the gears is short. When you want to push gas in the off-road, for example, the gear changes. From 2 to 3, the engine does not rev down. Look carefully. When the engine revs up, the gears change from 1,000 to 1,200. This is very important. Those who go off-road know that the drop in the engine speed causes the car to die or roll over. When the speed slows down, it will undoubtedly roll over. But this car solved this problem with 10 gears, which is interesting in its own way. We are on an uphill road, and now I'm pushing gas. The engine speed increases from 1 to 2, but is lower from 2 to 3, came up lesser, which means the distance between the gears is reduced. And you can see it easily reaches 120 km, and it goes very fast and without sound. It has good brakes, and I drive like this. Look. Nice. It performs well at the side and bears the pressure Dunlop tires are applied, which are not very strangely strong. Something that, for example, Toyota permanently embeds in its products. But that middle channel you may also see in the film gives you an incredible feeling of power. Wow, we don't have any sound. For example, after over-revving up to 4,000 RPM and over, we just hear a buzzing sound, as the insulation is good. We are now driving at about 150 km, 147 km. The brakes are good. The brake is perfect for this acceleration of 7.3, and for being a Lexus, don't forget that. The advanced Lexus is competing with the Germans in the brake part. For example, we tested the BMW X5 and it was the same. The new BMW products are at 38, 39 kilometers. If this car had better tires, it would do better. Let's go to Lashkarak up hills. For the uphill traction, our speed is 80. No matter how much, it doesn't make any difference at all. We do at 70. It performs well. Its power is so great, it doesn't mean anything to it. And it's sped over 100 and... Oh, what a gearbox. It does not get weak at all. At the moment, almost 150. $160. This car came in front of me. Otherwise, it reached 170, 180 quickly. This big body with this 3.5-liter twin-turbo engine, it moves very easily and does not outdone, especially in the uphill and desert, if I want to sum up. Between this car, Mercedes-Benz GLS, BMW X7, Cadillac Escalade, and Lincoln Navigator, it isn't easy to choose. And maybe one of my choices is this car for some reason. You tell me which of these 5 you choose, which one is more acceptable to you. Be sure to leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye.